Hi, thanks for joining me today for another Plan With Me video. This week I'm going to be planning in my B6 Foxy Fix, and I'm using a custom notebook that I designed for myself. The notebook is a week on 4 pages, Monday to Sunday, and it's got space for this week, next week, as well as a dot grid page on the 4th page for any random notes. I am planning the week of the 19th to the 25th of March, so without further ado, let's get started. So this week I'm actually using a kit from my own shop. This kit's called Bunny Blooms, and if you didn't already know, the 20th of March is the spring equinox, so I thought this kit would be perfectly fitting for spring, even though it is snowing outside, but we won't talk about that. So I'm just going straight in with my date covers. Now this insert is one that I've not used before, so it did take a little bit of getting used to. There was lots of peeling and sticking and peeling again and sticking again, so hopefully you can enjoy the sort of artsy side of this video. I wanted to talk a little bit about my planners at the moment. I know that I've been in my pocket size Malden for a little while. You've seen a few videos of me planning in there. And as some of you may or may not know, I'm currently in about the last 4 weeks of university, so I'm doing a lot at the moment. And obviously I'm not complaining. I'm really happy about the fact that I've got a degree and everything, or hopefully will have a degree in 4 weeks. But I wanted to talk about the fact that when I'm busy, I seem to use my planner less. And I know that a few people have said the same. They seem to stop using their planner when they're busy. And a lot of people kick themselves for it and say that it's annoying, and they're annoyed at themselves because they're not using their planner when they should be. But I think that it's not necessarily a bad thing. You just kind of go on autopilot. And at the end of the day, as long as you're getting things done, it doesn't matter whether you've got stickers or pretty pens and paper and all that good stuff. If you're getting things done, that's all that matters. And I know that planning for me isn't necessarily something that I do every single day rigorously. I know some people refer back to their planner every night, every morning, and tick things off and all that, and as much as I would love to say that I'm that kind of person, I'm not. I don't do that. And I know that my Instagram may let on to a different story, that all of my planners are perfectly set up and being used on a daily basis, but they're not. Usually I sit down on a Sunday or Friday. I usually film on a Friday, and that's my me time, and I spend my time planning and organising, and it's almost like a meditation for me. It's not a meditation, but my mind is unwinding, and I'm just allowing myself to get all my thoughts down on the page, get everything out that I need to remember, and know that it's in a safe place, that if I need to find that information, then I've got it. And I don't think it's such a bad thing that sometimes we don't use our planners. Some of us may have like a notepad on the desk that are just ticking things off through the week. Some of us might use our planners daily, but I think it's important not to be annoyed at yourself if you don't. It should be an enjoyable thing, and if that's an enjoyable thing that you use once a week, once a day, once a month, it's finding something that works for you, and as long as it's working for you, then that's all that matters. So to conclude my very long rant about planners, basically all I was trying to say is that I usually plan in my pocket planner, or I like an A6 if I'm busy, and I use daily pages with my events on my left and like checklists and things on the right. But they're not getting used at the moment because I'm pretty much doing 3 things. I've got to finish my dissertation, I've got to finish my other module, and then I've got a plan for my final module, which is due in 4 weeks. So those pages aren't getting filled up, and they're just getting wasted really. So I've decided to jump into my Foxy fix, which has been waiting long enough, let's be honest. And I've done sort of a week on 4-page spread instead, just to kind of space things out less and see it all in one, and to try and use the space that I have a little bit more instead of just wasting pages. So you will have seen that this sidebar has been done several times. I could not find the right stickers, things weren't going right, so I did that a few times, and all I've done is added my ombres across the top, and I'm just added in my half boxes now for quotes and any important events or tasks that I've got going on that day. So as you can see here, that's the end of the week, and then on the right hand side you just have a dot grid page for notes or events or anything that you need to jot down, remember, or even if you just wanted to have like an ongoing task list that you can keep referring back to and adding to those ombres. I think that's it's a really nice space to have that there. So I'm now just adding my full boxes. As you can see, I added them to the sort of bottom half of the page. I decided that because I put that full box in the top left hand corner, that I wanted to kind of balance it out a little bit rather than having a whole row of the full boxes. So I put that full box in the top left and then added my ombres along the top, and then just to balance it out a little bit, I put the rest of the ombres in the bottom sort of half of the spread. Now, as I said before, it's a little bit of a trial and error week because I've not used this insert before, this kind of setup of insert, and I'm also using one of my own kits, which, as bad as it probably sounds, I don't use my own kits very often because I usually do swaps with Anna from Plannerface, so I end up with quite a lot of her kits and I'm sort of used to the format now, so it felt quite strange using one of my own kits. I also just want to mention on the sidebar, it's Monday to Sunday, it's got that little week overview. I actually pinched that from one of Anna's kits because at the moment my kits don't have that in. That is definitely something that I am going to be adding to my kits because I really enjoy having that in the sidebar. So let me know if you like this kind of chatty video. I normally talk through what I'm doing in quite a lot of depth, but there's only so many times that you can say that you're sticking down your ombres and your flags and your half boxes, so I thought I'd try more of a kind of chatty video. Let me know if you prefer me to just get on with it and tell you what I'm doing, or if you do like that I'm sort of chatting a bit more in the videos. I want to make videos that you enjoy, so let me know and I will do whichever you prefer. So all I'm doing here is referring back to a piece of paper which I basically pre-plan my week on, so that I know where I need to be sticking events and things. So I'm just adding in any of my quarter boxes on areas that I've got an event, or if I'm going somewhere or need to be doing something. And then I decide to change the whole next week section because I want it to have a full box of some sort, but I didn't like the fact that that full box was going at the bottom, so I decided to move everything around a little bit. And that is where I was like, yes, I've managed to fit the half box that's the right colour on the main part of the spread, but I messed it up later on, so. I also tried to be really clever at this part. My kit comes with like them things with like checkboxes but with no ombre, and I thought that if I cut it in the perfect place that it would sort of just follow on all the way down the page, and I managed it and then realised that I didn't like it, so I peeled it up in the end. But it's an idea, it could be something that you might want to use in your planner. So I thought it'd be quite interesting to see how I use one of my own kits with one of my own inserts, because this is now something that if you decide to go to the shop and buy, for example, if you wanted this insert and you wanted this kit, you could essentially recreate this spread if you wanted to, and it might give you some ideas of how you could use the insert, or how you can use the different stickers and the different formats for your planning. Obviously, I hope that you guys are being creative and trying out your own things, but it's always nice to have like a little bit of a, I don't know, something there to sort of go off in the beginning. So this is where I ruined my half box. I know that a lot of you are always I literally like clench my fist there. I knew I was going to do it wrong straight away, because I even put a mark on the other page. I knew, because it's a new insert, the right hand side was a lot higher up than the left hand side, so when I stamped it, it kind of didn't stamp the right hand side. So I pressed it down more and then I got ink all over the page, so I just straight away I was just like, oh, why? And then I stamped it again and I still wasn't happy with it. And I tried so hard to just accept it, but I couldn't, so we have round 3 in a minute. And I thought I'd leave this in because I think it's nice sometimes to see other people making mistakes and messing things up and improvising and finding ways around these kind of things. It doesn't go right every week, and things like this do happen, and I think being able to try and use what you've got in a creative way to sort of fix the mistakes is, I think that's part of the fun. So again, don't be kicking yourself if something like this happens, just try and find a way around it. So what I did here was I went onto the bottom washi, because these kits are designed for Erin Condrens, but I don't usually use the bottom washi. So I went onto the bottom washi and I decided to stamp it on there and then cut it out so that it's kind of like a decorative half box sort of thing. So there, I'm just measuring it up against the boxes above and cutting it out with my new IKEA scissors. Gosh, this is a crazy video. Well, it's a crazy voiceover, not a crazy video. Maybe I should just stick to telling you what I'm doing in the planner because it makes me sound less crazy. So I just trimmed the top and bottom so that it would fit in there nicely. And no, it wasn't straight, but I was past it at that point. And then I just filled in the rest of the stamps. And if you're really keen and keeping your eyes open, you'll see something changes on the sidebar. Wahey! So basically what happened there was I stamped the first two and the stamp didn't fit, so I just used the other two habit trackers instead with a different stamp so that it fit a bit better. And then I'm just adding in my character stickers here. I've filled in all of the half boxes and appointments. As usual, all my stickers are linked in the description if you want to have a look at any of these. Go check them out. Lots of really lovely shops down there, so I can't say that you won't end up spending lots of money if you go in my description, but it's a good place to go. And then I'm finally just adding in some deco. I ended up writing a quote in the full box on the next week section, which you'll see in a minute. And then we're going to flip to my final spread. So this is it. This is how I ended up in my B6 this week. There's the little quote. I'm really happy with how it turned out actually. But I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. And I will hopefully see you next week for another plan with me. Bye bye.